Hey guys, how you doing? This is my name is Calder.
And I'm Alvin.
Of course, from Good Twin, Bad Twin. Of course, if you've been following us, you know that already. So keep up and follow us.
Appreciate your support. Appreciate your love.
But we're coming to you talk today because we have been having kind of ongoing feud, difference of opinion on the Trayvon Martin trial. Okay, especially the verdict. Of course, you want to follow us tonight on our Facebook page because there we go into what are the next steps. What do we do now? Because ultimately that's what's going to happen. We're gonna have to talk about where do we go from here? What do we do now? What are the next steps that we take? And we got some suggestions for you. But
Obviously, our condolences to the Martin family.
yeah, we want to give our condolences to the Martin family. And there are some other people involved that would touch that Trayvon's that his life impacted, or there are a lot of people that were touched by this. So we want to say our condolences to you. So we want to take the light.
Um, I wanted to mention that initially, for me and some of our viewers, the thought was, how does this concern me? Or what does this have to do with me? Is this, as African Americans, is this an African American issue, or is this an issue of injustice? In spite of the verdict, we understand and respect the verdict. What is the point behind all of
Right,
this?
but
Is
so
it just a
so
bandwagon kind of thing?
yeah, yeah. So it's an injustice. Now we do have different perspectives. Now we got a ongoing feud in that regard too. But regardless to how we feel in regards to it, we do agree that is a global perspective. This is not a black thing or white thing. This situation or what took place in South Florida actually affects us all. It affects us all. I mean, it's not just a Trayvon Martin issue or just a black or white issue. It is race sensitive. But even though it is race sensitive, it is not just in a box or confined to just black versus white. This is bigger than that.
And if you diminish the issue to that, then you missed
You missed some points. You missed some points. Well, I would say that of course, we differ as to the why we supporting it, or to do you put the Facebook picture to all black? Do you wear the hoodie? Do you go to the rally? Do you go to the riots or whatever? Do we burn down South Florida because the verdict was? And we got difference of opinion on all of that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the support ain't necessarily just to say um, I support Trayvon Martin and that's Travis. Travesty. That's what we differ. You know what I'm saying? Because I still say, man, that if whether or not you support Trayvon Martin or not, or whether or not you support this as an issue at all, you still need to stand up and say, well, if there is something wrong with the law, then let's deal with the law. You still need to say, if it was my uh, Irish American son or my Latino Hispanic son, or if it was my white son, it could still happen. You know what I'm saying? Because based on the law, you know what I'm saying, the law, it still could happen. So support Trayvon Martin, not just because he's a black guy, but you're supporting this deal because I'm saying it could happen to you. It could happen to your child. You know
Now,
what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I do think that the reality of America still is, even among African American ourselves,
There's still a racial divide.
it's
We
a
still got the
racial
light
divide.
skin and black skin,
Uh,
white skin versus black
and
skin.
we still profile ourselves, even blacks. You clutching your bags, locking doors when you see um, somebody that doesn't look the way you think they should look. That is a reality, and because of that, I support. That's why I thought we should have come on board and support Trayvon, not just because of the law itself or the injustice of the law. And speaking of the law, which reminds me of the law is I don't feel like as the case in Sanford played out, this was a slight against stand your ground or the Texas castle laws. Once you read those laws, I think those laws are sound and they open up the avenues and
The law is sound.
allows citizens to defend their property outside of the home. Because most states now, including our state, Mississippi, the law allows you the opportunity to defend yourself even use deadly force to defend yourself within your home.
Well, I'm glad you got that out because most people watching it, they're outraged, and that's where I got a problem because most people are outraged and they ain't got a clue as what the word law means. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is they don't even know that they can impact or change the law. You know, because I still, you say that this stand your ground has nothing to do with it. I think stand your ground has a lot to do with it because clearly, you know, as I pointed out, as the sorry job that the prosecution did, that they did not, you know, point out the fact. I mean, whether or not he was accosted or not, you know what I'm saying, or whether or not he should have stood down, you know what I'm saying. But even in this,
Now, I agree that it was unjust in that a man was murdered. A man was murdered. A man was murdered, and so I do agree that it was unjust. But I don't believe that, as is shown in Sanford, that this was a self-defense case, which is
oh
why
come on, man,
Zimmerman
self-defense.
he waived his right to the self-defense, stand your ground hearing. Having done that, now I'm not a legal beagle, but this is just my novice understanding of it. He waived his rights, which and pleaded and his defense took the case as a regular self-defense case, and the jury found him innocent. Now, I agree with you. The prosecution was sorry, and that they did not paint a story. They did not.
He was asked to stand down, clearly asked to stand down. What,
whether or not
let me go like this. We could go for
but
days.
that has nothing to do with stand your ground. That was the point I was making. That this law has nothing to do with stand your ground. And
it has everything to do with
stand your ground. And we will bring up this point about the White Castle law or the stand your ground law in Florida. The point is that it was just a regular self-defense case, and the prosecution did a sorry job of proving the case.
Was more
paint a story.
The stand your ground law had everything to do.
I will point out a lot of people were talking about it should have been he should have been convicted of murder. Murder was never on the case.
Right. Well, I give you that one because it wasn't necessarily whether that was murder or not. We could have at least went for manslaughter, but
manslaughter,
but not necessarily just flat out cold-blooded, cold-hearted murder. Now, because of the fact that he did pursue him like a dog and hunt him out in the middle of the night, as opposed to listening to the police, which was clearly defined on the tapes. Stand down, wait till the backup. That's when you get into the point of whether or not you could say, well, you know, so it was murder. Because, I mean, he gunned him down.
How was stand your ground?
Gunned him down. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's where I feel like
defy, or how was stand your ground?
Well, I'm just saying to you that to me, that's when you get into a situation where the defense again did not bring out enough information to show that. Because I'm saying,
I agree that they didn't prosecute well, but
not the defense. I meant the prosecution.
I agree with the prosecution. Matter of fact, stories came out on CNN today. I don't know if you guys were watching. That this prosecution, this attorney, I forget her name. I didn't write her name down because it's been something I've been following for a week or two now. It's the same woman. She's been known to bring harsh penalties in Florida against in cases.
You talking about the judge or the prosecutor?
The prosecutor. Matter of fact, now this is going to be one of my calls to actions. When you talk about Marissa Alexander, the prosecution is the one that's bringing that 20-year sentence. She's the one that brought that on the table against Marissa Alexander, which I think in this case is
excessive. That's something we need to be talking about. That was
which is another thing.
That was ridiculous. 20-year sentence on that warning shots.
Yeah, it was over warning shots, and
so stand your ground should have been applicable there because
actually it wasn't, because she lost her hearing. She went to the stand your ground hearing and lost, and so that's how the prosecution was able to bring the 20 years on the table. Now, in my opinion, where's the Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Michael Baisden,
all these
Tom
folks,
Jonas,
her advocates, some stand up for her. You know what I'm saying? With this 20-year injustice, this girl about to serve over this mess. And then if y'all didn't know that story, she was getting beat up by a boyfriend too.
Yeah, it was domestic violence was the case, and we're not bringing up an issue about domestic violence because
I'm saying
we can't throw a rock at
and then the sad part about it, domestic violence is
glass house
thing.
theory.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to necessarily talk about that side of it. I'm just telling you that it was a situation where she was in fear. She wasn't just trying to scare somebody or show some wolf
Now
tickets
she
or
could
something.
have ran, but because of the stand your ground, she thought she was in right. That's my point.
Well, I mean, I
We
get
should
you
get
that
a better
understanding
understanding
of the law.
of
Now,
your law in your
well,
state.
I give you
That
that one.
should be.
I give you that
When
one.
we get to
I
the
give you
steps,
that one.
we'll come.
Yeah, I give you that one because that's primarily what's going on. Because I feel like most people don't even know the difference between an ordinance or a law, or what the law is, or who you go to talk to get this done, or whatever. All we want to do is say it's an travesty and injustice.
We want
You
to
know what I'm saying?
ride them,
Yeah.
which is why I
Now,
say now
now
what's
that
going on in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, because I'm saying, why are you writing it? If you knew the law, read the laws. Go home and talk to your congressman, and councilman. That's what you need to be
you have a
doing.
right to
You know,
assemble the 100 city vigil that Al Sharpton is calling for. My thought is what you just said. Contact your
plus, you know
state.
what?
Start with
I'm
your
gonna tell you
state and
something
local
else.
congressman and make that phone call. First off, learn what the law is in your. Because, like I said, like we disagree, and that's why I say the stand. If you read the Stand Your Ground law or the White Castle law, those are sound laws. It's they're you can debate
Well,
whether
I'm gonna tell you,
it's a bit extreme or
I
not,
talked
but
to her
it
about an
does
hour and a
allow
half
for the
with an
person
attorney
to
this morning, and I
outside
don't
that
want to necessarily disclose her name because she didn't give me the right to do so, as well as some persons on the team, and she made some compelling arguments in regards to why the stand your ground law should have been enacted and how the prosecution dropped the ball. Actually, after she got through arguing me, it almost made me want to kind of recant my position because of how badly, she pointed out the I guess the deficiencies of the prosecuting attorney, which is right now. I mean, I feel like if there was a civil case brought up, it should have been against the
which is
prosecuting
another
attorney.
point. Which
You know what I'm
is
saying?
now because of the self-defense
law.
case.
Oh, by the way, for y'all that didn't know, you need to know the law because of the criminal trial, because he did it wasn't no stand your ground. He is actually exempt is the word, or what's the word? Immunity from civil. So it's gonna be tough for them to get them civil. They're gonna almost have to come up with new evidence or go to the prosecution and try to figure out how can they approach this, because he is gonna be immune. He gonna fool right around and be immune from civil.
Now, shouts out to the family attorneys. I cannot remember their names right now either. The original family attorneys that brought this case to the forefront.
Because it needed the attention, but
and
the sad part about it was they probably should have been the ones that tried the case instead of turning it over to the state's attorney.
And they also got, they did get compensation from the neighborhood association where the father lived.
I'm gonna say something to you, man.
So there's some consolation, some form of if you, those of you that are concerned about that have not heard that, there is some family has been compensated. Nothing can replace what happened.
You can't get your child back.
No dollar amount, but there have been. So if you're wondering about the civil thing, civil, by the way, civil cases, just like with the OJ thing, that does not mean guilty in terms of just because you get money or compensation does not give you.
I don't even think they'll be able to qualify for the wrongful death. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna say one thing I think we need to back up as is, of course, I hate to hear people say we, because of course I'm gonna say Paula Dean's, because if y'all haven't heard, the new vernacular, for the N word is Paula Dean's, and you go Google that up and look it up and try to figure out why I say they are Paula Dean's. You know what I'm saying? But we need to Paula Dean's. We need to kind of back up for a minute and then kind of reassess. Let me go back. I digress. We're gonna back up for a minute and say, when you're a little kid, you've been taught as a little child, if somebody hits you, what you supposed to do? Hit them back. That's how we talk. I mean, that's what we know. I'm talking about, you can look at the average teenager's body language, and most of that is like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying my point is, we by nature almost are taught to be aggressive and attack mode. Now I don't know what happened out there. I don't know if Trayvon attacked my man, but I'm saying to you that if I just feel like, and let me take the Trayvon off the air. Let's take that off the table. let's take the Trayvon off the table because I don't want to offend somebody saying because I wasn't there that night. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't clearly defined as we think. But I'm gonna say, as a people, we need to learn how not to be aggressive all the time. How to learn how to resolve conflicts.
I was wondering
How to
that.
resolve a conflict. How you
I agree
resolve a
with that.
conflict
I agree
without
with that.
fighting all the time, without putting a gun in somebody's head. And I'm telling you, sometime now, but I'm gonna say it ain't the first thing. And I'm telling you, most people as a whole, we don't know how to resolve conflict without getting into an argument, without getting into an argument, without putting somebody, put somebody down, or the first thing you want to come to blow. Look at the average person nowadays, man. The first thing you want to do, Paula Dean, I just knock you in your head. I do this, and
I do believe we need to stop using that word. But by the same token, I do agree. You have no argument with me on conflict resolution.
I mean, we don't understand conflict resolution. We don't understand it in the boardroom. We don't understand it in corporate America. Man, we laugh and scoff talking about they trying to make me be white now. They're trying to make me be white, and it ain't about being white or black. It's about being able to be able to get along and resolve your issues.
Now, here's another my thought about profiling. A lot of people brought up the thing about you cannot do any profiling. FBI, police, even in the military, when we're on missions and things like that, you have to profile. You're given basic information about the subject that you're looking for, or what you have to be able. That's a valuable profiling is a valuable tool.
Well, I get the profile is valuable, but I'm thinking that, man, we need to teach people how to profile because every dude wearing a hoodie that's just of my skin complexion ain't the one that's wrong.
Even with the TSA deal with the 9/11, since 9/11,
I'm saying you should, like people from Pakistan or Iran or Middle Eastern countries should appreciate what we're talking about in regards to racial profiling. And you can't even wear your turban on an airplane nowadays. You go through the airport with the thing on your head or the dot in the middle of the forehead, and you're gonna be put across the nearest whatever.
Now, still though, profiling is necessary. If it wasn't for, you have to have.
I still think it should be taught. You know what I mean?
Maybe we need to. That's a separate conversation as opposed to that's a separate conversation as opposed to not doing it at all. How we do it, but it's a necessary tool, necessary.
I mean, everybody named Abdul ain't on the plane ain't got a razor blade in his shoe, but thanks to 9/11. You're not getting on a plane and sitting next to the guy with the turban on his head. You're not finna do it. And if you are, you're gonna have a serious conversation with
a guy named Bob got a 700 or 800 credit score.
That's true. Every dude named Bob and Tom don't have a 700 plus FICO score. You know what I'm saying?
But there are profile. This is my point. Profile is still necessary.
Besides that, I'm also concerned because I feel like, okay, well, with all of this protesting we're doing, how many people know what the law is? How many people even know how to contact the congressman? How many people know the difference between a city ordinance and a law? Do I talk to the council person, or do I talk to the alderman, or my superintendent, or do I talk to the state representative? And if I call them, what do I say? Do I email them? Do I get a petition together? How many folks know what to do? I feel like most of the people just out in the street because that's all we can do. Power to the people. That's all we can do. You know what I'm saying?
Before we go into that, I want to shout. We talked about protesting, right? I want to shout out to the Sanford community, the guys out there in Sanford. Kudos to you guys, especially you guys out holding that coalition of
they came together after
today having the chief of police out there coming to speak in the spirit.
And you don't think that was some kind of they're gonna hire the black dude to be the black dude to be the police chief after the incident.
No, but still though, even though it showed. I don't know enough about that one to speak on that one. However, I do know that they had multiracial, multi ethnicity backgrounds, clergy, community leaders, besides the chief out there in Sanford, standing together. Kudos to you guys for holding that community down. Now, Los Angeles, on the other hand, you guys, you need to take a lesson from Sanford.
Yeah, besides, I mean, y'all off the chain out there.
Oh, and kudos to the again, I said enough to the Martin family for their character, even after the verdict. They've been just
Yeah,
remarkable.
you think in a
Example,
situation like that, they could have acted a donkey, but they decided not to. They took the classy road. Yeah, they took the classy road.
What we should be striving to be. The prayer session before each day in the courtroom, and then even afterwards, the comments, the character comments about the Zimmerman family and things like that. Kudos to both mom and dad, Martin, for that. But I have to go back to something you were saying, Cal, about another one is the Justice Department. How oh oh that's the one that struck me before I forget about the protesting. We were talking about protesting. Flag burning. Flag burning. In LA, we saw a lot of African Americans burning the flag. I think that's a bit much. I think that goes a little bit too far.
So Zimmerman can gun a black man down the street, but a black man can't burn a flag.
No, I just think that goes a little bit far. I don't think neither one has to do with the other. I don't think just because that happened, it allows you the right. Even in the hate or we know the history of this country, how it was built on the backs of. We know the history. We know slavery, and this slavery in America was the worst of any kind of slavery. It wasn't the only slaves. Blacks enslaved other blacks. Colombians. Even in Japanese were slaves here in America in the industrial age.
What I'm saying is, I feel like
in history.
it's still going on today, primarily, and then it's one of them situations where you can't talk about it as a black person or an African American. You are shunned or put down. You can't talk about it because now you're the angry black person in the room. You know what I'm saying? You have to pretend like it don't exist, and then I take some black folks, they take it to the extreme. Everything is the man keeping them down. Every man ain't loud, ain't loud, ain't loud now, ain't loud, ain't loud, ain't got loud. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's like you can't just voice your opinion because like he's saying you loud, you too passionate. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and you conceived as construed as the angry black dude. You know what I'm saying? If you are passionate about your beliefs, and I'm saying to you, learn how to resolve conflict so you don't have to deal with it or do that, but just realize that it is prevalent. And for the rest of the world, don't say it's a black thing because I just happen to be black and trying to share with you my perspective of something that's going on. Because you know what, some races like Hispanics, Middle Eastern persons, whether or not Pakistan or whatever the ethnicity, excuse me, is you glad that it's happening to me because if it ain't me, you next. You the next one that's gonna be discriminated against. So what I'm saying is, what you should do is join in the fight. Period to end racism across the board or injustices across the board. That's what we need to be trying to do and try to pretend like it don't exist. It still exists. It does exist.
Injustices in general should be defended, and that's why I said. That's why I support this nation's army. That's why I'm a member of this nation's.
I don't be burning the flags. We live in America too.
We aid and come to the defense of many injustices around the world, in spite of the ones that we do and have done here as a nation. And so a lot of people have given their lives so that injustices won't be brought upon other people. So that flag burning thing, I don't know.
But listen to me.
But
we gonna.
What do you think before we get out of here? What do you think about the Attorney General Holbert and his stance, or the president, his wife, and his stance?
I have no thoughts on it.
I agree. I think the president.
I have no thoughts on it. I don't have no thoughts on it. I think the president's put it in a bad situation. I mean, because he black, a black man. So I mean, he good if he say something, and he bad if he don't. So I mean, I think for him not saying nothing at all, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in that position. because unfortunately I'm not in a position so I can open my mouth, which we will be doing later. We got some more coming to this. This got kind of long, so check us out on the next episode. But as far as the president is concerned, listen, man, just send your prayers out for him because I think either way, it don't really matter which side he choose. If he chooses to say something, if he don't say nothing, he's still gonna be blamed or not blamed or didn't say enough or whatever.
Roger that. And then you got the Attorney General. They're still got the Attorney General's office. The United States Attorney General, that is, has an open investigation to see.
Yeah, they checking it out to see what was done, was anything done malicious. So it ain't just over.
So those of you that are making those petitions on the Justice Department website,
keep doing that.
Keep more power to you.
Keep doing that.
I would say though, I would say if you're making those petitions, and I will say this though, if you're making those petitions and you're going out there on the Justice Department website complaining, and you do not know what your state's law is, you have not contacted your state congressman, then wrong. Or you need to do that and go back and then figure out and learn what the law is.
Find out what the law is in your state. Find out what the rules are.
College students, you need to. We want something to be mobilized for, and
we bad about trying to play the game and don't know what the rules are.
Learn out.
So learn the rules. Learn the rules.
Like in the state of Mississippi, they're revising their laws with the
right to carry
law. It's in Mississippi Supreme Court. It's been held up there. But my point here in the state of Mississippi, contact your state congressman. We got some great guys, hardworking guys up there, like Senator John Horn up there in the state of Mississippi State Senate.
Representative
Credell Calhoun for the Congress side. Very, 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 very smart, knowledgeable men, and they can break that. Would spend very much time, a lot of time, telling you the facts and details about those laws. So give them a call. They're public knowledge.
Yeah, and there is a difference between your state representatives and senators as well as your local. Because the ones there's a difference. There's some that stay here and do as far as the state capital, and then there's some that go out to international. So there's a difference, and you got to know. And maybe we're not necessarily articulating it to the best of our ability, but we're just trying to show you that. Get into it, look into it, find out the rules before you get all upset and been out of shape.
Our United States representatives in the state, those in Mississippi, like I said, that's our home state, so that's why we brought it up. Congressman Benny Thompson, and then Thad Cochran.
Nobody's saying you ain't got no right to be mad or upset about what's going on, because it is a loss. It's a loss. It's a loss to every race. But make sure if you're not doing your homework,
if you're not doing your homework, if you're not doing your research, then you almost.
And it don't take a whole lot to do this stuff now. So don't try to act like you got to be a bookworm to do all this. Now, listen in my vernacular. Don't try to act like that.
Right. We're not saying that's the whole point gets when bad when we everyday guys, management, military, just everyday guys, volunteers, fathers.
But check us out on our website, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, because we're gonna cut this one and we'll pick back up, especially like on a Monday night topic of discussion on Facebook. So or like I said on the YouTube channel, just check it out. But we're gonna cut this short. It's already going about 30 minutes anyway. So
we love you guys. Thanks for the support, Alden.